I haven't done that yet. I am now recording.
Okay.
Watch out.
So everything that you say can and will be used against you.
Yeah.
In a court of law or by Judge Judy.
Or Judge Jill.
So I will repeat myself, just so everybody who listens back to this. We are 2 people away from hitting 200 people in our group. I'm excited to see who is going to be number 200 recruit. For our group, like everybody, those 190, what did I say? 198 people. We are at 37,326 in our wholesale, which just kind of means it's like 25% less. Of course, wholesale's like just a little bit less than we've actually sold. So, kind of pretty significant. It's almost $40,000 in the month of October so far. So that's pretty substantial. I didn't want to print the numbers or the where everybody's at until I knew for sure we were signed on, but I wanted to kind of just tell everybody where we are at when it comes to top 10 for the month, because I think everybody likes to know that. So let me pull those numbers real quick. So Rachel is number 1. Her downline Taylor is number 2. Emily Stevens is number 3. Emily actually just became star consultant a couple days ago. I'm sure you guys noticed that. Juanita Pickens is number 4. I'm number 5. April Crowder is number 6. Myra is number 7. Kayla Lauter is number 8. Dallas Witten is number 9. And Renee Wright is number 10. And we still got, almost a week. We have 6 days left of the month. And for just the team, so y'all know those are going to be the people that are going to probably be on here. Emily's number 1. Myra is number 2. Kelly Lawson is number 3. Jennifer, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say Jennifer's last name. Jessica Lares. Laris. She's number 4 in sales. Nicole Smith is number 5. Autumn is number 6. Ashley Adams, 7. Jennifer Krittner is number 8. And why can't I see? Oh, there we go. 9, 10. Jessica Funk is number 9. And Linda, sorry. Linda Loriati is number 10 in sales. Jessica Hoyle, Jessica Utsi is number 11. We have a lot of Jessicas.
I'm the nice one.
Okay, so those are top 10 team, top 10 group. And where are we? We still got just us. Who's chewing on ice?
Jill is chewing on ice.
Sorry, but for real, I don't know what the hell is going on. If there's a nurse in the crowd, please speak up. My left jaw has hurt for the past week, but my right jaw, it hurts to even touch it. And there's a hard, almost like a marble, right here in my jaw. It hurts to even touch it.
Have you gotten your wisdom teeth out yet?
I have not. But the other thing that's a little scary, 6 years ago, for my brother's 30th birthday, we were supposed to go to Vegas. He ended up in the hospital because his face swelled out to here because he had an abscessed salivary gland. And it started out where it was just tender to touch, and then it just escalated to this huge thing. So, yeah, I'm trying to work my salivary glands.
I see.
I got Sour Patch Kids to try and get things and my jaws just really, really hurt. So I'm trying to relieve the pressure in my jaws. So
why don't you go to the doctor?
Yeah.
Well, she did just get back.
I was going to say, I don't know when I would have time, Jess. Honestly, my health comes last.
I know something's going on between these two.
Which two?
Jessica and Kelly. Mm-hmm.
I am like totally innocent. Look at this face. This is the face of innocence.
Okay. Well,
Kelly, you have the sleepy sillies.
I should be in bed. This is my bedtime. Usually, I have the parent that wants to yell at me at 8:30 tomorrow morning. So it's all good.
Well, Jessica and Jill, since we are recording, we'll just go ahead and move forward with you all presenting about vendor events. And what did I actually call this? I said vendor events / shows presented by Jessica Hoyle and Jill Staub. So, yay! Here we are. So I actually have an event on Saturday that I'm preparing for. So I'm hoping to get a little bit of tidbits from you guys. So if you could, I don't know how y'all want to work it. If I'm sure you guys work together at some point and figured out how you're going to present. So we are going to welcome you to start your presentation. Thank you for offering.
I'll let Jill go first.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Okay, but I'll go first. Okay. So when I prepare for vendor events, I make sure that I have one example of everything that I can possibly think of. So I have one Scentsy Fresh, I have one laundry product, I have one lampshade warmer, I have one element warmer, I have one of everything so that people visually can see it. I will make a basket of samples galore with my business cards on it. I will make my table and presentation eye-catching. I believe like the rule of thumb is you have 3 seconds to make an impression at an event like that. So you need to give them something visually enticing and your words need to match the visual presentation to get them to talk to you. I know that I've told people before that your first line to people is, do you like Scentsy or have you heard of Scentsy? That's a yes or no answer and they can walk away as they say it. You just simply need to what I do, I don't ask them a question. I hand them a sample and I tell them, you're going to love this, put it in your pocket or your purse, you and I are going to be best friends. That's what I say. I swear to God, when I did Hampstead Day here, it was like 98 degrees. I think the relative humidity was like 113, and it was hot as shit.
Is that even possible, 113?
Somebody looked it up on their phone, and they said that the real feel was 113 degrees. My testers were in pools under the tent. Like, it was hot as hell. So that's another thing. Dress for your event. So if you are outside, like Erin, I don't know if yours is outside, inside, whatever. Dress for your event and look presentable, look approachable, and always smile. I don't care if somebody ignores you, you still smile. That's how you get people talking to you. And then once they do come in the booth, I would tell people, like, have you tried this? Or, what do you have already, so that you're starting a conversation with them. And then you always need to make sure that you have some kind of way to collect their contact information, some kind of drawing tablet thing to get their info, so you can follow up. Usually, I would say 90% of those people, if they don't buy anything from you on the spot, 90% of those people aren't going to, I don't know, they're not like great leads. Yeah, just like that. Like I used to do, so this is part of my sales history. You guys have heard of Bally Total Fitness, right?
I'm sorry, what?
Bally Total Fitness.
Bally Total Fitness. Wow, that's
like the gym.
Yeah, that's
okay. Thanks. I used to work for them. But I used to have to do lead boxes in businesses and follow up with all of the leads from the lead boxes, and then follow up from leads from people coming into the gym. So like Bally used to do, like you could bring a friend in to work out with you whenever you wanted, but 20 minutes, 30 minutes before you would work out, they would give you this whole sales speech, and they would collect all of your contact info, and we would have binders this thick of people who would come in, And because I was low on the totem pole, my job was you had to calculate and record every time you called somebody to follow up. So like it was the most stressful and boring job. Like I would cold call people who came to the gym like 4 months ago, and I'd be like, "Hi, you liked Bally's, didn't you? Do you want to come back? I'll offer you a free day membership." And like that, I would do that for 5 to 6 hours every day. So I would call leads all the time. So I can read people when they put those things in the box, and I will literally, like, if it's a busy day and there's lots of people putting things in the box and I've talked to somebody and it's been a good conversation, they've made a purchase, I will go back into the box, pull out their information, and I'll make notes on the back that talks about like what we, like my first impressions, or like this is going to be a good recruit or whatever. And then I'll put it back in so that when the day is over and I'm exhausted, I can remember that person, and I will prioritize my contacts of who to call back. And some of them I'm like, yeah, no, she said nothing to me. She filled out the form to try and win something for free, and then she walked away. I'm not going to follow up with that type of person right away. The person who stayed in my booth and maybe bought a bar or two or asked me questions, that's who I'm going to follow up with first. So I prioritize my time on those people. But yeah, totally, like when somebody walks away, take that box, put it under the table, open it up, get their information out, because by the end of the day, you're going to forget their name, and you're going to be tired. So totally, that would be one recommendation that I do. Jill, what do you have?
For the getting people's contact information?
Or anything. Anything that I missed.
Yeah, no, I want to piggyback on that. I actually will create like just a simple Excel spreadsheet where it's name, address, email address, and then like little boxes where they can check off if they're interested in the newsletter or a catalog or hosting or whatever, and let them check off what their interest is. But that way I at least have their information, and I will entice them somehow to write down their information. I did a vendor event where where it was hot, just like Jess, and it was outdoors. And my cousin, who's a 31 consultant, was in the next to me, and I thought we were both going to die. It was literally 110 degrees in the sun, and I had my bars on ice because it was so hot they were melting. But it was right before the September 1st new catalog release, so that was my way of getting people to put their information down. Oh, you want a catalog? The new one's coming out. Here, can you put your name down? And I probably got like 15 people's information just from doing that. Or, you know.
Do you guys find that it's easier to get people's address or email or phone number, or what do you find that you struggle with?
Phone numbers, I think, are probably the last thing people put down. They'll put down their address because they know they're not going to be getting phone calls from you.
Okay.
And that, like, some people just don't want to be bothered on the phone, and that's totally fine too.
Yeah.
And then I would say email address, because I actually had somebody contact me from Texas, which was kind of odd, and I thought it was a total scam, but I actually spoke to the person on the phone. Mm-hmm. And she was like, you know, the last Century consultant I had just spammed my email box all the time, and I'm not looking for that. I just need to place an order. Like, well, I'll send you the link to my email or to my website, and that's the only email you'll get from me. I promise you that much. Mm-hmm. And I left it at that. Some people don't want to be bothered that way. Some people don't like phone calls from random people. I don't like talking on the phone, so I'm not going to give somebody my phone number because I don't like to be bothered. Yeah. Like, that's the antisocial person in me. I just, like, I'll talk to my best friend for an hour once a week and I'm good.
Right.
But, you know, everybody's different. So I would say the phone number is the last thing people want to give out, and then the email address would probably be next in line. But, you know, as long as you get some type of information from them, then you have a way of, you know, sending them specials or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I've also done the little slips that you were showing, Erin. The enter my drawing slips. Yeah, I had those. But then you also have to be prepared to offer something. So don't just stick it out there and say, oh, enter my drawing, because people are going to be like, what drawing? What are you drawing for? Pencil? No, I'm good.
Hey, Mike.
I was going to say, Kelly, what are you showing us? Let's see. Okay, so the tips from my experiences. Don't sign up for outdoor events in the summer. I will never make that mistake ever, ever, ever again.
Jill, I do love, love, love the idea that you came up with about putting the bars and your testers or whatever else on ice. Something that can melt. That's an awesome idea.
Yeah, but everybody take note. I did not put them directly on the ice. I didn't want the water to get into the bar. So I had a plastic bin, and I had the exact same plastic bin underneath it filled with the ice. So the bars were protected from getting water inside them, but they were staying cool. And I'm not even kidding when I say it was one of the hottest days this summer. It was probably 105 in the shade, and my bars did not melt. They got soft, but they did not melt. So the ice definitely helped.
Good.
So there's the ice. I would say make whatever display you choose to do visually appealing. I'm crafty. I like doing crafty things. So for me to, like, the day before I'm going to do an event, I will invest probably the whole day, if not half the day, because I have the luxury of doing that. Just being creative, like creating little signs. Like I am a chalkboard sign whore, and I've got every size, shape, and color you can imagine. And then my friend Sarah turned me on to the chalk markers. Yeah. So you can, like, I'm left-handed, so for me to write on a chalkboard is not possible. Everything gets smeared the whole way across. So it just doesn't work. So when she was here visiting me, she actually did my little chalkboard display signs and wrote out Scentsy Fresh and then how much it is, and then Counter Clean and how much it is, and like travel tins, car bars, all of that. She did it all on the little chalkboards for me with the dollar amount so that it's clearly marked, because people like to know without having to ask. That doesn't mean don't engage people. If people come up and they're like, oh, I need bars. Oh, what's your favorite scent? What's your scent profile? Do you like fall scents? Do you like fruit scents? Do you like man scents? Still engage them, but definitely make it easier for the people that come into your booth to know what your price points are. Make it visually appealing. Oh, I'm going to walk you guys over to my little display that my best friend at work, my full-time gig, made for me. And Sarah actually paint. Yeah. He made it all out of scrap wood because he's crafty like that. Him and his dad in his little workshop up in Vermont during his little vacation, he went up there and he grabbed scrap wood from his dad's workshop, and the two of them put together this display for me, and he didn't charge me a penny for it. Sarah came into town. We went to Hobby Lobby, went crazy, got some paint. She painted the whole thing for me. All I had to do was glue on the word Scentsy and the stars, and that was it. That draws people in because it's colorful, it's bright, it's inviting. I can display all the different warmers that I have. And like Jess said, I try to display like the different categories. So I'll have a lampshade warmer on there. I have a 2-day event coming up in like 3 or 4 weeks, and it's an indoor event, and they want the high price point items. So I bust out all the lampshade warmers I have and put that on there. My diffusers, I'm going to put a diffuser on there with all my additional lampshades, or my shades that I have around it. So you can see this is the diffuser, but look what else you can get to go, if you want to change it out. Oh, and Cushing, my coworker is actually going to put the outlets on there. I'm going to return my display to him, and he's going to put the outlets so I can plug night lights in it. I didn't need the outlets for the last vendor event that I went to because I didn't have electricity. But now that I will, he's going to amp it up and make it all cool so I can plug everything in. So it will have power. What else? Samples, like Jess said, with your information attached, because if you just hand somebody a sample of wax without any way of detecting you, then you did no good.
Right.
What else? What else you got, Jess?
Wear something with Scentsy on it.
Yeah.
Because even if you go to the bathroom or to go get a drink, people know you're the Scentsy person.
Yep.
Follow you.
True story. True story. By the way, Erin, I had my magnet on my car all the way to and from California.
Yay!
Oh, and where was it? Oh, I did an Airbnb in Salt Lake City.
Yes.
And they had this little nightstand with snacks and stuff in it. Well, the smart Scentsy chick in me took goodie bags that were left over from my vendor event that I did right before I left, and just kept them in my car. Didn't know who I was going to give them to, but I knew I was going to just give them out. Well, the Airbnb people were cool. So I left a little goodie bag on the nightstand, and in the Airbnb website, they leave a review of you and you leave a review of them. They were totally stoked about their goodies. They actually mentioned it. They were like, she left the sweetest little thank you gift. I was like, oh, yay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I just thought of something and now it's gone already. I can't remember what I was going to say now. When it comes to me, I'll let you know.
What do you guys do when it comes to stock? I've been looking at YouTube just to kind of get some ideas, and I watched a specific person do low or no stock. Well, how do y'all handle that? Do y'all do any stock?
I do cash and carry, and I'm going to show you what I got. Anytime I have host rewards, I'll get scent circles, car bars, scent packs, travel tins, whatever. So I always have those on hand. But this little basket right here, this one, is full of bars. So I try to have about 50 bars on hand.
Wow.
But I mean, again, I use host rewards to get them. So it's straight cash in my pocket when people buy them. And I do offer the 3 for $14 or 6 for $25. So people feel like they're getting a deal, especially with the 6 for $25. But yeah, I mean, it's easy to replenish the stock, I feel like, anyway. I just use host rewards when I can. So I try to keep current with the scents that are out, but sometimes it's just not possible. And sometimes people are looking for retired or past scents, or bring back my bars that they missed. Mm-hmm. So don't be afraid to, if you've got stuff from 2 years ago, don't be afraid to put it out there. Somebody might be looking for it. You don't know.
And I'm the opposite. I don't have a lot of stock that I take with me.
Okay.
So I have a couple of bars and car bars. You've seen my displays that I've gotten. And that's pretty much all I take. And if I don't have what people, it's almost impossible to have every car bar scent and every scent pack and every, so I don't stress about that. I'm about building the order anyway. So if they're looking for bars specifically, I'll tell them that we'll order it, and that gives me another way to connect with them later. So
yeah, that's kind of how I ran an event that I did a year ago. It was a pretty big event. It was at a hotel, so it's very similar to what I'm doing on Saturday. And just I always tell everyone that I've ever recruited, Dawn, we haven't really had the conversation about events yet, but I always say don't feel like you have to have stock. If someone really wants something, they're going to order it.
Yep.
And they're going to be okay with, paying for it, waiting for it. They have to do that for ordering something online anyway. So.
And also, I know what else I wanted to touch on: payment methods. This past event was the first event where I actually had somebody that was frustrated because she had been to a Pampered Chef tent and she came to my tent, and there was another vendor, I think Mary Kay, beside me, and none of us took credit cards. It's your personal choice. I mean, yes, it's convenient to have the Square. I haven't invested in it because it hasn't occurred to me. I haven't had the time. A million reasons why I haven't done it. But it hasn't been an issue because most people know when they go to these craft shows or vendor events or fairs or whatever, they bring cash because they know most things are going to be cash on hand.
Right.
I ended up taking a check from her because she didn't have enough cash, and it was no big deal. It was fine. I got my money, but she was really flustered and pissed off. I was like, look, you can't expect people that have small businesses like this to be able to have something to take credit card. I'm like, I can accept PayPal payments. I can accept cash. I'll even take a check, but I don't have the ability to take a credit card. So I think it's convenient to do the chip reader or the, Square or whatever it's called, but it's not necessary. Like if you're just getting started, it's not something that you have to do.
So you don't write down their information on the order form, like?
It depends. If they're trying to buy something that I have in person in front of me, no. There was one couple that wanted 2 of the winter scents, and I didn't have them, but they wanted to do a 6-pack. And then the husband found a travel tin that he wanted. Well, we all know they're $5. So what they ended up doing was doing kind of a combination 6-pack. So they did 5 bars and a car bar. But what they took with them that day was 3 bars and not the car bar, the travel tin. And I got their information to order the other 2 bars to have them sent to them. So you can be flexible and mix things up and, make it easy for them. But I try not to have to run somebody's credit card at a later time just because some people don't want to give that information and have it kind of floating around out there.
Right.
Trust thing.
How do you handle your payments and things like that?
I've only done cash on hand for the cash and carry. And that's one of the reasons why I don't do a lot of stuff on hand. Jen and I are signed up to do the Big Pet Expo in January, which is huge. I mean, we're talking thousands of people, huge. And she said that we should get a Square, and I told her that I didn't think that would really be worthwhile. She might do it. We haven't really, etched out the details on that because we do want to have warmers on hand to sell. Right. Like I want to sell my ice cream warmer because there's no place on this earth that I will ever need that.
Kind of like the watermelons that I have. I
have 2.
I have two watermelons, and I'm like, I've put them out on display, and people have been really interested.
Guess what my giveaway for the raffle that this event is doing? Guess what warmer it is?
Watermelon.
Watermelon.
Yeah, I have one. I have 2 zebras. I have the stuff that I've found at Goodwill that's new, or the used like Army one. So I have stuff that I want to sell. I just, we haven't. She brought it up. I'm not comfortable because I've never used them before, and I know there's a fee on top of using them.
Yeah,
and that's my hesitation.
Yeah, that was my hesitation too.
Mm-hmm. And so, we're not supposed to mark up our prices to any, for any of our products. So it needs to be something to think about. But I would much rather people, like Jill said, log on your phone and let's do PayPal.
Yeah.
And do it that way. It's the same concept. You usually have their credit card linked up to their PayPal account anyway.
Right. And with PayPal friends and family, there's no fees. So
yeah. And Erin, is what you're doing, does it have Wi-Fi or any do you have a computer to use? Because I like the slideshow that I've done on my Google Slides has been really useful because I don't have to have everything on display. It's a slideshow presentation. And that plays through.
I'm going to assume that we will have Wi-Fi. It is a banquet space at a hotel.
Oh yeah, you will.
Coming from my experience in catering, we always offered that. That was part of a package deal. So when people booked event space, but even if I didn't, I could easily use my. I figured I'd use my phone for a hotspot if I needed to.
Yeah, totally do like some kind of presentation, and you can upload it, and I forget how to do it, but you can upload it so that it constantly loops, and that you don't have to worry about it. But it's an easy thing to put on a Google Slides presentation.
Okay. Kelly, have you, I wasn't sure if have you done events recently or in the past?
I have not. I tried an open house.
Okay.
That's about as far as I've gotten. That didn't go very well.
What, do you have any pieces of information you'd like to add to give anybody insight on events? I mean, the open house I consider that a vendor display.
Not really. I mean, I had to go and search for where different events would be held in my area. So I used Facebook to kind of just search things that were going on and started networking out that way, but I haven't committed to doing any events yet. I'm still a little hesitant on that.
It's actually good that you mentioned that, because I was going to discuss how to find out about events. So maybe you all, I've got some ways that I've done things. Maybe y'all could give insight as to what you all have done and how you have found the events that you've participated in.
I joined Facebook groups. If you go and in the search bar on Facebook and just search vendor events and your area or local areas or whatever, you'll be surprised how many groups pop up where it's one I think I have is vendor events for Virginia. A huge chunk of my client base is in Pennsylvania, as well as my family. So I'm part of a Pennsylvania-based group. I'm part of a Maryland-based group because I have family in Maryland as well. So if you just search on Facebook for vendor groups, they post frequently, and most of them will post 2 or 3 months in advance. So it gives you plenty of time to plan. I've also found the events where the vendor fee is like $15, $25. Those ones are not generally good.
Really?
Yeah. One advertised as a vendor event. It wasn't. It was a flea market. Straight up flea market. Got up at the ass crack of dawn. God bless her heart, my 14-year-old niece got up, helped me set up in the rain.
Oh, God.
And I'm looking around, and first of all, I was the only actual vendor there, except for the other Scentsy vendor, directly across from me.
Oh, my God.
She kept sending her husband over to spy on me, basically, to see if I made any sales, see if I, got any new customers or, whatever. So I was like, okay, 2 can play that game. My niece took a lap around the flea market, and she's like, her display doesn't look as good as yours. So I was like, I can only do what I can do. So yeah, and that one, it was only a $15 fee. And the people that were coming there were not coming for high-end product. They were coming for, let me spend 50 cents, let me spend $1. So yeah, they were not interested in quality. There was another one that I did. I can't remember where it was. I think the fee was only $25. I think I made my vendor fee back, but that was pretty much the extent of it. The ones where the vendor fees are higher tend to be higher traffic, higher quality sales, more foot traffic, the whole shebang. So that's just been my experience. I don't know about anybody else.
I know those vendor pages are cutthroat. Like if you don't respond in the first 5 minutes, then you're going to miss out
Yeah.
on anything. And usually the people, when they post, they already have a lot of the common, like 31 Scentsy, Jamberry. They already have those people lined up. I know the thing that's worked for me is to know what's coming up locally. So like if you know that there's a vendor event that's always happened, like Hampstead Day, I knew that was coming. So I jumped on that several months in advance. The pet expo that we got, that was just happenstance. Like that was Jen's job because she's in internet marketing and they're doing the marketing for that event. And she emailed the coordinator and the coordinator said, no, it's taken. And then later that night, she's like, haha, guess what? The vendor backed out because we knew that person, or she had emailed. That's the only way that we were in line, because there had already been a list of people that had already emailed as like the backups. But because this girl knew Jen, we were in. I got asked to do in-home vendors because of friends, so like multiple vendor home events.
Yeah, those are great, especially for the holidays.
Yeah, just because of people that I know personally. Like one was a coworker, the other one is my hairdresser. And then there's another vendor event that I'm doing on Black Friday. I'm trying to do 2 on Black Friday, but one is definitely confirmed. And that was because it's somebody in my neighborhood. I started a Facebook group for the neighborhood because there was no like communication in my neighborhood at all.
Same
like
thing.
If your dog, like our dogs got out, and there was no way for me to like mass email my neighbors to say, if you see my dogs, can you put them in your yard? And that's what got me thinking about it. But because she saw my post, because sometimes you can't even post on like yard sale sites that you're a Scentsy vendor, I was like, you know what? I need something local where if people want it, they think of me. And so I started my own group. And she saw it, and she knows my kids. She's the media assistant at school, and she messaged me, and I was the person she asked first. So it's really just about establishing connections and networking and knowing people who are involved in like Lions Club, because Lions Clubs do a lot of stuff, community like programs and picnics and fairs and all of that stuff. Just know the people who run those programs as best you can and make those connections.
Yeah, you mentioned the Lions Club, and we actually have a what they call the Omar Shrine. So actually the Shriners, if y'all remember, we have the cause warmer. It's a Shriners Hospital for Children. So if that's a really great connection to make, is the Shriners local chapter or meeting space, VFWs, and then the
Moose Lodges.
What's another? It's VFW and
Elks.
Fire department.
All the big wild animals. Moose, elk. What's the other? Is there a Boars Club too?
No.
Giraffe Club.
I have found that there were for like my region. So I have Charleston, South Carolina vendor pages. We have Columbia, which is an hour and a half from me. I joined a Columbia. So, look throughout your area. You guys are in, like Jessica's near Baltimore. So she could basically go anywhere in that vicinity. And Jill, you're in Northern Virginia. You could go, if you wanted to, Southern Virginia, Eastern, Western, whatever, West Virginia.
I've actually looked at a few. One was like in Chesapeake, another was in Richmond, but with my work schedule, a lot of times they just don't jive with weekends where I'm off, and I'm not going to take off for a vendor event.
No.
It's just not smart business.
and I was going to agree with the vendor fee. I find that if like for our neighborhood, I'm actually kind of the event coordinator, that I actually created our community page as well. And I decided to pull all of our direct sales people together and do a vendor event in like 3 weeks. And we're not going to charge for anybody who's a vendor from the community, but we are going to start to advertise outside of the community. And so I think free is great. And, you know, you might have people who don't end up showing up to be the vendor, but I can agree with you when it comes to events that I've participated in, when it's like $15 or $20, as opposed to 50, 75 or 100, people are going to be more apt to spend that money because they know it's going to be better quality.
Yeah. The one that I'm doing in a couple weeks is the 2-day event.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the fence with that one for a while because it was $125.
Yeah.
But it's a 2-day event.
Right.
So you'll get the Friday evening stroll through after work crew, but then you'll also get the Saturday, let's go to this event, you know.
Be there all day. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think Friday it's like from 4 to 8, and then Saturday it's 10 to 5 or something like that. But I think in the end it'll be worthwhile. But I'm also doing one a week from Saturday, which last year my cousin started it, the one that has the 31 business. Right. And it was just a little fundraiser that she threw together of her friends. And it was me and a doTERRA girl and a Jamberry girl. I'm sorry, Jess, am I keeping you?
I would be like 20 minutes asleep by now. I'm sorry.
You bitch.
Dawn, we don't hold back here. You don't have to.
I was sorry.
No, I got to work in the morning too. But anyway.
Well, you're going to make me cry.
What?
You're going to make her cry.
Aw. You know I love you, Jess. Anyway, so yeah. So my cousin, she put together this little fundraiser for her daughter's. Jess, you're a nut. For her daughter's preschool class. It was a YMCA, so it was just a fundraiser. So we donated our commission last year. This year, she changed it up, is charging a $25 vendor fee, which will go to the preschool. So that's our donation. And I mean, last year there was decent enough foot traffic. I think I was the one that did the best in sales. So I figured I'd do it again. The downfall is I got to drive 4 hours to Bloomsburg.
Ew.
Yeah. But I can stay with family in Pennsylvania, so it's all good.
I don't even want to tell you what the fee is for the pet expo.
Yeah, I was curious about that. Wasn't it like $500? Yeah, because I had the Flower Town Dawn. I was looking at the Flower Town Festival for Somerville. Girl, $600.
Oh my God.
$600, but it's 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah. It's 3 days, and you're talking like a ton of people.
God. People, you can't, they have pictures of the event of people walking down the street, and you can't even you can't see between people. There's that many people. But there's like 2 other Scentsy people that have applied. It's what the event coordinator told me. So, I mean, I can apply and be on a wait list or whatever. But the last year they had someone from Myrtle Beach. So I was like, we got to get someone from Somerville. I mean, and that people can, have a local person. Yeah. Doesn't make any sense. So.
Real quick, I wanted to piggyback on what Jess said, dress for the weather or the season or whatever. Yeah, my last event rained the whole day, the entire time. I did one in the dead heat of the summer, and then last fall I drove to, or I guess it was in the spring, I drove to Bloomsburg and it was snowing. So yeah, definitely be prepared for whatever weather. Yes, I'm going to punch you in the face.
Well, we've just got a couple more minutes. We don't have to use those couple more minutes. I mean, if y'all have any questions or any insight, anything you want to close with, I kind of just left it kind of open-ended with questions.
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Well, then we will close up shop, and Oh, do y'all have any insight as to what you'd like the next power hour to be about? That's what I'd like feedback on.
Anybody?
Bueller. Bueller.
I think Callie should give an idea.
Yeah,
Callie's been quiet.
she has been.
Well, Dawn hasn't said 2 words either.
Oh,
Dawn, what's on your mind?
Hey,
Dawn
Dawn,
has ideas.
she's on day 2. Like,
Oh, okay.
but
All
you
right.
got your starter kit yet?
I'm soaking it up.
Well, I'm on day 2 as well.
Bullshit. Oh, by the way, guys, yeah, totally cussed and walked around the corner and there stands the sheriff today. Yeah. Uncomfortable, unprofessional moment of my life. But I cuss like a sailor. I can't help it.
Me too.
I am who he hired.
Dawn, you cuss?
Hell yeah.
And you'll go well with everyone in this group.
She said, "Oh yeah."
Okay, well, if y'all have any insight or questions or anything comes up, of course, we're going to leave it open to people to be able to comment and all that stuff. And then we'll figure out next power hour so it's informative and people want to attend.
I think we need to get on all the slackers that RSVP'd and then bailed.
Yeah.
I've been up since 4:30 and worked 12.5-hour day. I don't want to hear it. No excuses.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, y'all have a good night. Thank you so much for volunteering, Jill and Jess. I appreciate it. And we'll see y'all next month.
All right. Bye.
Bye.